how to put English on the basketball.
Welcome to a brand new episode, new season, new episodes of With the English podcast with myself, Sam Oakley, and Mr. Glenn.
Glenn? Yes, it's been a while.
Just Glenn. No, I was going to say Mr. Glenn Vardy.
Oh, Glenn Vardy, yeah, but yeah, I'm like McLovin.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm loving the off season. I mean, as much as I love my baseball and my NFL, my Eagles are unbeaten and the Phillies are doing well, but things have happened in the last couple of weeks that we said we need to start a podcast before the season starts.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you got your baseball and your NFL, and I'm sorry I've had to rope you back into the podcast about the NBA. I kind of feel like preseason NBA is like what practice is to AI. You know, I feel like you just sit there and be like, "We're talking about preseason," but yeah. Well, we won't talk
poor.
too much about. Yeah, it was pretty poor actually. Sorry. We won't talk too much about preseason because yeah, like you've said in our chats, it's a bit, you can't really take much from it.
No.
So we're gonna look at the teams and how they might set out into the new season, and I'll start off with the West.
We'll start at the bottom or the top?
I think the top, we'll just gloss over the tankers. There's a few tank teams, but I think the West is very, very close this season. I think you've got quite a few contenders up there.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, going to have current champions, the Denver. Although I do think they got a bit weaker in the off-season, but they're still going to be up there, obviously. I think Memphis have improved vastly by getting in Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss for Celtics and a great addition for Memphis. You know, obviously my Lakers should be up there.
Of course.
We should definitely be better than the play-in this year, I think, with the off-season moves we've made. You got Phoenix, who are going to be a bit top heavy, but they shown with you know, okay, I'm not going to mention preseason much, but with the first game they played, they're going to score a lot of points, and they're going to do it quite quickly between Beal, Booker, and Durant. I think the jury's just out there for me about how that roster is going to be as a whole for an 82 regular game season, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota should improve maybe with Anthony Edwards, who I think is going to be one of the best in the league in the next few years. And Zion's coming back for the Pelicans. You know, I know every off season we're looking into the Pelican scope. You know, Zion revamping, and ramping up for the season, but seems to get injured a lot. But maybe this is his year. This is his year. And I think another little surprise package might be. So yeah, my dark horse this year is going to be Oklahoma.
Okay. I thought you were gonna talk a bit more about. I think the Clippers, but you obviously aren't going to say that. But what the Clippers?
I guess the Clippers don't really register with me. I think their time's down them, to be honest. I just don't believe that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to be fit. There's always one of them out. Maybe a bit more this season because of the new CBA agreement, but I just don't take them seriously because they, they become favourites every off season or one of the favourites.
Yeah,
and they never do it. And they got Russell Westbrook, so.
And you've gone for OKC then, probably because they're a bit younger and developing and
a bit younger. I think it's as well because I want to see them be the surprise dark horse. I like the youngsters that they have got with the Williams. Obviously SGA was fabulous last season. I'm excited to see Chet Holmgren come into the team as a rookie. I just think they've got some really exciting young pieces, and I think they've got a few years behind them now, and it'd be really interesting. They put in a good run towards in the last season, so if they can continue that momentum, they could easily be top 6. But like I say, it's going to be a very difficult West. I didn't even mention Dallas with Luka and Kyrie. Obviously, I've mentioned before that not too confident on that whole backcourt, but it's a lot of scoring, a lot of scoring and no defense, if you
Yeah,
ask me.
agree.
So yeah, I think dark horse Oklahoma, and then it's going to be. I couldn't tell you what order the team's going to be in, to be honest,
Wow,
because of how.
I had to look because of your outsider, but if you really fancy OKC, you could probably they're at the moment they're about 50-1 to win the West. So I reckon you could probably
That's not
get
bad.
them. I reckon you could get an each way, finish top, 2 or 3. You could probably get them at 10-15-1. So
I think
be a
there's
little
also going to be
gamble.
the tankers. The tankers
Yes.
like Houston, they might do a bit better this year. Spurs, who might do a bit better with Wemby, but you don't really know how he's actually going to take to the NBA.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't even mentioned Sacramento, and they were third last season, and they haven't really done much in the off season. Although they have brought on JaVale McGee, he's a decent role player. Probably a bit of extra size that they were lacking last season. That's the bonus, had to play all year at the 5. He's probably quite a small centre, to be honest. But yeah, that for me, the West is stacked.
I agree. I think the tankers are going to be the worst tankers are going to be in the West, but I do think the West have got is stronger again this year. I think it might edge it over the East this year.
If I go for any predictions, I'll predict my Lakers to be 4th.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to say champions.
No.
Who's going to win it? The conference, not
4th.
the regular season conference, maybe not the playoffs, but who's going to win the regular season? Right now.
I'm just going to be lazy and just say Denver because they're current champions. Because I think it's too tough to say.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, you never know because they had the long season. They might rest more next year. That's why I thought
Again,
I'd
I
throw it
haven't even
out there.
mentioned the Warriors.
Yeah, I
Man,
think
it's going to be tough this year.
it is definitely tough, and that's why I thought I'd do regular season because I think the playoffs is going to be so tough because you don't know who's matching up with who. There's certain matchups that will be beneficial to others. Golden State will look good against some, but maybe not against the others. Same with So I do agree with you. It's so stacked. That's why I thought I'll do regular season winner first because it doesn't always mean that they can obviously win it, even if you're the first seed, especially in the West. I don't envy.
You could even say Portland might be a bit of a surprise package with what they've got in return for Dame.
I don't think so, but yeah, we'll see.
What about the East?
The East. Well, the East is a little bit easier because I think you're right. I think there's definitely less stacked teams in the East. So, the easy choice, but dependent. One thing you didn't really touch on was, we've got to assume here that everyone's fit and healthy, and there's going to be the usual rotation. So if that's the case, then obviously I think the top seed will probably be someone like Boston, because they looked poor, like you said about Marcus Smart going. I thought that was a bonus, and then they got Drew Holiday. I know we'll touch on the trades later, but I think then they've added some depth and stuff. So actually, I think they're going to probably be up there. Then you've got obviously the Sixers seem to be my boys seem to be a good regular season team, and then just flop in the playoffs. So we'll probably be up there for fighting for the top seed, and I think the Bucks will do again. But they I don't think their depth is they're much better starting five. Probably got one of the best combos you could ask for in a probably last year or two of his peak in Dame Lillard and at his peak Giannis. So that's a tough combo. The Cavs are a good young team. Heat obviously showed their resilience. Emo Butler, would he be any good? I don't know. We'll find out. Knicks are a good regular season team, but depends if they can stay healthy because obviously they get drilled into the ground under Tebow. So I don't know. I think the teams I've mentioned will be there, and then the tankers. I mean, we mentioned Bill. So I think straight away that was the first team. When you asked me before we started recording, I was like, I can't really think of anyone. And I was thinking, Bill went to the Suns, and I forgot about that until I played 2K, and I was like, Wizards are definitely tanking this year. So Wizards are going to be my tankers. I
I
think
think the Wizards might be quite fun this year with Kuzma and Paul.
no,
They
I
won't
do.
do anything. They won't be a decent team. I just think they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, but I think yeah, but Paul. No, I think because the thing is, you got Detroit and Charlotte and Magic that have kind of been not tanking, but they haven't. I suppose you could say that they've been in and around. So I expect them to have some better seasons this year, and I think that if those guys have developed enough, some of the young talent, especially when you look at the Hornets could be one, because obviously they keep fading. Michael Jordan's out now from memory, isn't he? Or sold the majority of his stake, so they might want to look at the rebuild this season. But I think Wizards I just don't think they're going to be very good.
I think the main thing between the East and the West is that I feel that there's more disparity between the good teams and the poor teams in the East, whereas there's a lot more depth in the West. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's a bit more stacked. I think
I,
you got your top four in the East, yourselves, Bucks and Celtics,
Celtics.
Cavs.
Yeah, I think you don't know how the Heat are responding, right? Obviously, some players come out of nowhere last year. Started last season, didn't hear of half those players in the Heat culture, and then suddenly Miami have got these guys that are performing for them in the postseason. So, yeah, you could say that. I would argue that probably Cavs on paper are better than the Heat, so I'd probably go Cavs.
Okay, so who's going to be your East dark horse?
Hmm. I I don't know. So when your dark horse was OKC. So that's me assuming that you think they're going to make the playoffs and maybe give a tough series to someone.
Yeah, cause an upset, be tough for someone, just be real energetic, athletic, some good talent on that team.
I think something's got to suddenly happen for the Bulls, right? I know. So maybe them because they have got some talent. Bulls obviously been injured for forever. Um, you know, they've got some talent there. Zach LaVine's obviously still there, and one of my favorite players to watch that isn't a Sixer. So maybe that's my slight bias with that. But and I like DeRozan, but obviously he's aging. I could maybe see them having turn it around season because I thought last season they had a better season than what they did. So I'd throw them in the hat for sure. And Raptors, they've got a good young. They could be the other one. If you're looking at a young core that have got some good young talent, then maybe them. But if you're looking at a team
Hey,
that's got
they've also added Dennis Schroeder.
who is a pain in the ass guard. He's like a player
And the best player in the world.
who's the best player in the world that they've added.
No, Dennis Schroeder is the best player in the world.
Oh,
He's FIBA MVP. He won the
oh.
World Cup.
I thought there was another joke to it. Yeah, he did. I was thinking, I was trying to think. I was like, is he on about? Who is he on about? Like, and I got completely thrown off them.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a Siakam joke. I was like, is he on about Siakam? Was he going to lead to an Embiid thing? I didn't know about Cameroon. So yeah, so many things go through my head when you're trying to banter about stuff. Yeah, and I'll say the Raptors. They've got a good. They've got some good players there. So that could be your sort of my dark horse, but I don't think there's going to be a dark horse in the East. I don't. The West, like you say, because there's so many talented teams, you're battling each other every other night. You can't rest as much, so some players might get injured. Teams might go on a run. It's more likely to happen in the West.
What did happen in the East is one of the biggest trades of the off season with Damian Lillard teaming up with Giannis at Milwaukee, whether he liked it or not, because I feel like he wanted to go to the Heat, and he didn't look the most happiest people when he did media day. But you can read too much into that into that
This is
sort of
true.
thing. What they do have is a good 1-2 with Damien and Giannis. Do you think
Yes.
that makes them favourites for the top seed, or are you seeing more to it? Because, like you mentioned, the Celtics reclaiming another defensive point guard in Drew Holiday.
Yeah, and I've got the iPad up just to remind me that obviously I don't forget players like Grayson Allen, but they have given up some players that
Mm-hmm.
you know I think they're probably gonna make the Eastern Conference Finals. I just don't know how they're going the pass going to lead in there. Are they going to be a second seed, third seed, and go in? They're definitely going to be a top 3 seed. I don't know if they're going to win the East in the regular season. But I think they're going to be built for the playoffs and probably be focused on the playoffs and being healthy for that. After Toronto set the scene with that, didn't they? When Kawhi went there and they did the rotation and stuff like that, they set the sort of future of that rest players for regular season, get them ready for the playoffs, and it obviously paid off for them along with that quadruple doink. But Kawhi playing like that, so I think that could be similar with Giannis and Dame, although the Bucks aren't known for doing that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But obviously it did involve the West as well. So what are your thoughts about,
Well, yeah, it did involve the West, but you sort of dismissed Portland's chances of doing
but maybe the
anything.
Suns?
Yeah, I guess the Bill one was a big one, although that feels like, months, well, it was months ago now. But I've mentioned it, numerous times. I just think that roster's not very, very deep. It's got deeper since the trade happened, but yeah, I just think it's too lopsided. I
See,
think
I
it
like
also
I like
depends
them. I
on.
like them. Right, Grayson Allen, Keon Johnson, okay. So little, yeah. No, okay, I haven't seen if they're still gone, but still there, and if they're looking to move them. But if they keep that squad depth, that's a good regular season team.
Yeah, it could be, and they could be, seventh, eighth. But I don't see him doing much more than that,
No,
to be honest. I think the Suns, the key thing is Durant staying healthy. Because
yeah,
I think I've said before that if one of them gets injured between Booker, Durant, and Bill, you've got 2 scorers and then mid-level roster behind it. So then what happens?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I don't have. I mean, they've got a good defensively minded coach now in Frank Vogel. So that
yeah,
the Suns maybe thinking behind that appointment was okay, we've got all this offense, but we just need a coach to work on the defense to balance things out. But I think a lot of it, as we'll link to the next thing being the whole Harden scenario, that's gonna change things as well. Harden is trying to leave, but if he leaves to somewhere else, be it the Clippers or wherever else he's been willing to go, there's going to be players involved there.
yeah.
These teams have got to give up something to get Harden. I personally don't think Harden's doing himself many favors at the moment. You're a Sixers fan. How do you feel about everything that's going on with the
I
noise of
sold
Harden?
I sold my Harden jerseys. No, I think
Don't
he's
blame
going
you.
west. Yeah, he's going west. He's definitely going west. So I think he will change the west. I think if he goes to the Clippers, like you say, they've got an aging team, but he will make them better. And having 3 aged players who might have a slight sort of bit of injury history in them, and I say that slight, that all 3 of them have had time off in the last few years. But if at least 2 of the 3 can stay healthy, it makes them a tough team. So I do think there's going to be more of a pursuit from them. I saw today that there was rumours with it. So I think sounds of it, Harden wants to go west. So we'll have to come back to you once that trade goes through to see how it's done. Because like you're right, there's going to be this. The thing with the Sixers is and Morey, when he traded with Houston a lot, he didn't do same conference, same division anyway. So I think he's quite smart with that. He tries not to, so he won't do too much trading. You look at the trades that the Sixers have made. it's been, obviously Fireball went out to West. We got Daniels will let go. He will trade, and sign, try and sign players from the East, trade from players from the West, and trade out players. So the only one we was hand that was forced, obviously, the Harden Simmons situation. So I think this will be a big conversation for you once the trade goes down. I don't think I'll have to do a lot of talking because I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces in the West that'll then come over to the East, but it'll be a lot of the West. It'll be a 3-team, 3-trade deal, 2 West teams, 1 East, which will be obviously the Sixers. So I think it'll be a big West
Obviously,
conversation.
the talk's always about Harden, but I kind of feel like what's Embiid thinking at the moment? He went through this with Ben Simmons. He's now going through this with James Harden. He's been at Sixers for a number of years now. Do you think he might turn around one day not turn around one day, but recently Giannis basically came out and said, I'm going unless we stay competitive. A few weeks later, they're bringing Dame Lillard. What if Embiid next year, he's getting on a bit now. He's 29.
He will be at some point this year. Yeah, I don't want the Charles
Yeah,
Barkley effect to happen. Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I could see it. But I think having Maxi and his development is the only thing that's probably keep. If we didn't have Maxi, I think he would be wanting out. But Maxi is a fantastic young talent. So
I just don't think you're going to get as much now for Harden as what you would have 2 years ago.
No. I think Harden's best games show that he's still got a bit. But the problem is there's an inconsistency level of it. So
It's
he hasn't got his
inconsistent.
own
You've got to
market.
think if you take him on, is he going to sulk next year and want another trade? Like,
I think
and that's what I mean about doing himself no favors.
No, he's not, and I think he's not worth as much as he thinks he is. Hence why there wasn't a market for him, and he opted in. And then so we'll see. Like I say, I think there'll be a
Better
big
start learning
trade clause.
Chinese, buddy.
Yeah, well, or learn some Arabic because I think Saudi that'll be the next thing. Will be Saudi will start taking up basketball.
Yeah, true. Right, so we're going to end this episode with something we started with on our last episode back in July with some X's and O's. Sam, I've got a few statements for you, and if you agree with them, give me an O and why, and if you disagree, give me an X and why. So the first one I've got for you is LeBron James will average over 20 points per game in year 21.
Oh yes, he will.
Yeah,
Of course he will. Yeah, he'll have the ball a lot still. So yeah,
he will do, and he'll be one of the first, I think, to sort of average double figures if he does that for a year 21 player. So, but we saw he was still good last year. Next one, I think we've already covered this one, to be honest. Milwaukee will be top seed in the East.
I'll go X. I'll say no. I think they'll rotate the players. So yeah, I'll say no.
All right. So who's going to be top? Celtics then?
Unfortunately, I think Celtics have got the best depth. So I think regular season they'll be top. Yeah, Bucks will finish top 3 and probably get to Eastern Conference Finals.
Even though they got Tingus Pingus, who's always unhealthy, and Jaylen Brown with one hand.
No, they will. They will. Unfortunately, yeah. Tatum in the playoffs can be just a different beast. So yeah, no, they when it comes to clutch games, they'll do it. Sadly, so
We touched on it earlier a little bit, but Kawhi and Paul George will not play more than 65 games a season. That's not collectively, that's individually.
I'm going to do this back to you next time because I had no prep for
That's
these.
fine.
These
That's
are
the
tough
point. I
questions.
want your authentic reaction.
I'm going to say no. X for both of them. They play late 50s.
So you agree they won't play 65 games?
No, they won't play 65 games each. No.
Okay.
They will play between 50 and 60 each.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's why I said earlier. That's why I said earlier that my faith in, well, not that I have faith in the Clippers, but I just don't think they're going to do
No.
much this season. Hopefully they don't, and can't wait for them to get out of the Lakers arena. Embiid was
Of course.
right for picking USA over France and Cameroon.
I think he should have stayed with Cameroon. I don't think France should have been in it at all. He hasn't really been there. But he's an American citizen now. He's got an American son. Again,
I
it's
don't
it
buy
depends
that
on.
part of the statement.
Yeah, see, my it's because it's politically, it's a bit political now, because obviously in America, if you're born in America, you're American.
Hey
Whether your
Sam,
parents are.
take the politics out of it. And B wants to win something and win something quickly.
Yeah, but there is politics involved, because he's done it to make it. He's like, I want to be the first American from the Embiid family to play and make Arthur proud. So I get that part of it, but then I think it would have been proud to go look at my roots and come from Cameroon and done
I
that.
think
So,
I think he could have made his son just as proud to
yes,
play for his born country where he grew up, put Cameroon on the map a little bit.
agree.
So you can put all that stuff to the side. He has picked USA for me because he wants to win a gold medal. And do you know what? Fair play to him. He should have just come out and said, I'm picking Team USA. I want a chance of winning the gold medal at the Olympics. That's a major, major thing. He ain't going to do it with Cameroon.
No, no,
So
yes and no.
the, the purist fan would say better that he picked Cameroon, but here we are. I guess Team USA felt they needed more help from other nations because they're not always the best team in the world.
Oh, well, the best players in the world aren't even American at the moment.
Exactly. NBA world champions, though, right?
Indeed, yes, I argue this all the time.
You'll like the last one.
Oh, one more,
The
right?
NBA,
Okay.
the NBA is more popular than the NFL.
I knew you were going to ask that. No, worldwide, yes. In America, no. It was growing and getting there, but the problem with America is there's a very big divide right now, and the whole stuff during COVID, and the politics involved in that. And I understand that on both sides, not the far right and I'm not the far left. I'm kind of down the middle. As my friends say, I'm liberal. In America, I'm counted as liberal, and over here, I just count down the middle. But that I've turned off a lot of fans. I know that. I know a lot of fans didn't watch it.
There's nothing more British than sitting on the fence.
No, exactly. But yeah, it put a lot of fans off. I think the way that when the whole thing happened with with the Black Lives Matter stuff, and that did frustrate a lot of fans in America. And then I think their ratings did drop from it. So yeah, so I think that didn't help. But it's growing globally. But
So surely if it's more popular worldwide, it's more popular overall.
but more. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go NBA is more popular worldwide, so I'm gonna go yes. But in America, it's not as popular, but worldwide it is. So yes.
Yeah, but as we know, as
But it's
was
the
it Noah
National
Lyles?
Basketball League versus National Football League. So
America is not the world, so you can be more
true.
popular in America, but that is not the world.
This is true.
But that was fun. So yeah, you can do five for me next week if you want.
I will be, yes, and I'm gonna find real difficult.
I'll give you
ones.
yeah, it's fine. That's like I say, makes it more authentic. I guess next week we'll discuss. Can we discuss preseason next week after we've seen a few games?
It's a pointless exercise, but yes.
I won't do that. I won't do the AI accent again.
No, don't. No, we can talk a bit about it. Yes, I mean I enjoy some league more than preseason, but yeah, we'll do that.
And you never know. This time next week we might be talking about where James Harden's gone to.
Yeah, agree. If the rumors are true today about the Clippers stepping up at their interest, then yeah, why not? Cool. Let's end it there then.
Yeah, so we phone this onto YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Yes, all of those. So please like, subscribe, and share. I always forget to say about sharing.
Yeah, I'll put it on our Twitter account or X account at With the English.
Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you've got all the way to the end, then you're absolute legends. Thank you. Bye bye.
See you next